So, who is this?
So this is Chase.
Chase.
So he's German Shepherd mixed with Husky. He's amazing, to be honest. I've put in so much time with him. But it's just the last maybe...
We're secure in here. If you want to let him off for a wander, feel free.
The last 2 months maybe, not even that, he started to become a little bit reactive to other dogs. Not in an aggressive way, but in I want to play with you.
Frustrated.
Like, he just wants to play.
Yeah, sure.
And his play is very, I'm going to slap you in the face and wrestle you.
Bit too intense.
Intense, for obviously, compared to what a lot of people would like.
Sure. Fine. Fine. Had him from a puppy?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So up until, so how long has it been, how long has this behaviour been a thing? Has it kind of always been there but got worse? Was it a kind of one day it was like, oh, holy shit, I don't like this, or?
It's not like he doesn't like anything, because he's not aggressive at all.
Yeah.
It's just, he's always wanted to play with everyone.
Okay. And has he had a lot of that, would you say?
So he, not necessarily one-to-one, but he has been to canine creche.
Yeah, okay.
But he's recently been banned because he's humpy. So he's on a suspension at the moment.
Oh, bugger.
I know, but he loved it there. And
yeah,
ever since then, I think, because he's not getting his fix.
Yeah. The problem, sounds negative already. The
reality?
Issue.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Yeah. The reality of daycares, creches, whatever, is that the dogs, there is too much emphasis on, yeah, they'll just be dogs.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they are. They're just dogs in that environment, and they're either going to get everything out of it they want, in his case, and they're going to absolutely lap it up. Or you're going to end up with dogs that are just overwhelmed in that environment and don't really know how to cope, so they then feel the need to become defensive. And then because they're overstimulated or defensive, they then get banned because they don't, that then gives them a problem. Then we have to actually do some management with that. So we'll get rid of that one, and we'll them ones, they'll figure it out, and then we'll wait for the next one to get overstimulated or get defensive, and then we'll ditch that one. And it creates behaviours in the dog just because they've been left to be dogs. And what you've just said is the nice way to look at it of, he needs his fix. He needs that, but I like that. And this is a nice outlet for me, and I know how rewarding it can be to run around and chase and be chased, and even if he has manners with it. I'm not saying that he doesn't know how to do those things, but he wants it, and he's able to act impulsively in that environment. So I decide I want to play with you, so I'm going to do that now. And then when it comes to a Saturday afternoon and you just want to have a walk through the park, the next dog he sees, some of it goes beyond him being stubborn or defiant. It's not necessarily a simple case of, no, fuck you in your lead, I want to go and do this. He gets that involuntary response very, very quickly, where there is a dog, I now can't help the fact that I'm now over adrenalised, you're now hanging back on me, and this is now all getting a little bit much. And then they get vocal and they get up and down on the leash, and like, it all just becomes a bit of a shit show.
Yeah.
And the issue isn't the leash, the issue might not be the way he walks, the issue all stems from how frequently he was able to scratch that itch, you know, and it's now teaching him to be the opposite of that and have that element of just social ignorance. We've got to help him learn to have that more neutral side.
Exactly, that's exactly
what you can't have is exposure that isn't productive. So those dogs, again, you've just described, where he can be around him, he doesn't play, but it's all a little bit much still. Or he's around dogs that he does want to go and play with, but it turns into a bit of a wrestle down the end of the leash until we've kind of dragged him away, or they've gone round the next corner or whatever. Because that interaction is still covered in adrenaline. It's not clean, it's just another one of, oh shit, well, I'll try harder next time then. So he just builds it up for the next dog that he sees, and it probably compounds throughout the walk, and by the end of it, he's just fucking had enough, you know? It's got to be clean, and to do that, we've got to find ways to just slow his brain down a little bit. Got to get rid of some of that adrenaline so that he's not just chomping at the bit. To be fair, although quite reserved, we might as well not be here.
No.
He'd be happy in his little corner. So you enjoy your session, I'm just going to sit, and hopefully in a minute I'll get to go and say hello to them over there.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
That's exactly what he wants.
And it's hard because, I mean, it looks cute as hell when he does it, and it's all innocent, like he's got the best of intentions, but he can't always scratch that itch. And if you've decided, actually, no, I'm sorry, Chase, let's go, we're going over here, or whatever it is, like, he needs to be able to do that without it being a dragging match for you. Like, it's just too much.
I want to be able to just, so to be fair, if I was walking on the opposite side of the road to someone,
Yeah.
I could just, like, I've watched a million videos,
Yeah, okay.
I've done my training and all that thing, so it's mainly me, really, isn't it? Just having that calm and just go,
Yeah.
like, sort of.
And on paper, it's great.
But then I can walk and he will sort of, he might just be like this,
Yeah, okay.
but I'm okay, I can handle it.
Yeah, sure.
It's when then the dog's there,
Yeah.
that's the problem, because then it is like, I can come on then,
Yeah, that
and then
carrot's
that dog's
dangling
then
so
like, come on,
close.
and
Yeah.
then we're, so obviously sometimes you are closer than you'd want to be. Good boy. Chase.
Leashed. And where would you put that on a scale of his worst to his best? That little bit of hanging in his lead, I can see the tension in his collar.
He's not too close. This is like I'm saying, opposite side of the road kind of job. I can
okay.
get rid of it,
Yeah, okay.
but like the closer you get, the more it will get like that. Shh. Chase.
And then as you walk away, how long does it take for him to get over that and just settle back in? Well, to be fair, pretty quick by the look of it.
It depends, yeah. Normally if I've walked the opposite direction, not too long. He might sort of for 10 seconds or so, but...
This way.
This way. Yes. Chase.
He carries with him such an expectation of, oh, there's going to be an interaction.
Yeah, he loves it.
I've got to investigate. He does love it. He does. Fat people love cake. It don't mean it's good for them.
Heel.
That's a TikTok there. I can see how anything close quarters becomes problematic.
Yeah. The closer you're getting, the more he's like, come on, let's go.
He needs more time learning to coexist.
Yes.
He needs more time learning how to share space.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the thing we need to find here now is the easiest, most efficient way to facilitate that. Because you can go, especially with him, like he's a good dog. Like it's easier to go and hunt for that kind of exposure when you have good lad. When you have a dog who's already very, very close to where you want him to be. Want to try and stay away from is, and this is going to be more of a him problem than a you problem. What I want to try and stay away from is that restraint or that ever building pressure as soon as there's a dog present.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of like shit that sounds good on paper, right? But I want the presence of that dog to have as little to no impact on what we were doing or what he experiences and blah, 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 blah. It's difficult if he's going to hang in the end of it. I don't want to have to keep doing this because he's leaning in the end of it. If I have to use pressure, fine, because that's our tactile input, that's our communication. But I have to try to keep the pressure off as much as possible. If there's pressure going to get used, I want it on and off as fast as I possibly can.
Right.
We don't need sledgehammers to crack nuts, but we can't fucking nag at him either.
Yeah.
Because the husky in him will just switch everything off and he won't do anything you want him to do for the next 20 fucking minutes. So this is one of those typical dogs where he really can't have an interaction with. Because Mishka is very nervous and Mishka doesn't cope well with those kind of interactions. And to be fair, Mishka doesn't generally cope well if there's too much eye contact and stuff like that. So Mishka's prime example of why he has to have the ability to just be socially ignorant and let things just go by without even just putting that little bit of pressure onto the dog, because she doesn't cope with that. And in fairness, that picture there, the only thing I'd change, the only two things I'd change now is him back into a sit.
Sit.
But for you just to take a step up, he stays where he is, but come and take it, yeah. Touch more. There. That's the picture that you want to try and paint as much as possible. Because some of it just seems to happen by mistake. A sit and back to a sit again.
Sit.
Good. But some of it happens because he's quite cheeky in the way that he positions himself sometimes. And he always finds himself out in front.
Yep.
And I don't believe he's doing it to be a dick. He's just doing it because he can.
Yeah.
You always want to try and have that picture going on there because you've got options there.
Yep.
You can, it's easier, a sit back to a sit. It's easier to enforce
Sit.
what you need out of him. That's it. It's easier to use your leg across the front of him if you need to. It's easier to stop us from coming marching straight over. It's easier to use your leg to turn across the front of him to go away if you needed to. Like, you've got options there. But more importantly, you're part of what's going on for him. Rather like the here,
Sit.
she doesn't care if I'm here or not. All Mishka's interested in is what she can see over there because she wants her mum who's around the corner. Mishka, this way.
Good boy. Wait.
Being able to have, good girl, sit. Good. Being able to have this picture just helps clean things up for the dog.
Sit.
In her case, it makes her feel more secure. In his case, it keeps you in a place of being able to advocate to prevent us from coming over, but then also to keep the behaviour that you need, to prevent him from keep drifting off into things that he kind of shouldn't. If he's out there in front, there's just too many carrots dangling far too close for him.